In part 1, we saw how Blockbuster's CEO laughed Reed Hastings out of his office, rejecting a $50 million deal to buy Netflix. Hastings left not just empty-handed, but angry. A silent war had been declared. But for years, Blockbuster didn't even realize it was fighting. By 2004, the reality hit them like a freight train. Blockbuster's executives finally woke up. Netflix wasn't just some quirky startup anymore. It was a genuine threat. They were systematically poaching Blockbuster's most valuable customers, the movie lovers, the frequent renters, the ones who didn't just rent the latest Blockbuster, but explored the entire catalog. These were the customers who paid their late fees on time and kept the business humming. And now, they were gone. The red envelopes were winning. Faced with this existential crisis, Blockbuster's CEO, John Antioco, decided to fight fire with fire. His plan was ambitious, aggressive, and brilliant. It was called Blockbuster Online. The company would launch its very own DVD B-mail subscription service, going head-to-head with Netflix on its own turf. And here's the surprising part. It was actually better. Blockbuster had a secret weapon that Netflix couldn't match: thousands of physical stores. Antioco leveraged this with a program called Total Access. You could rent a movie online, and when you were done, you didn't have to mail it back. You could simply walk into any Blockbuster store, drop it off, and immediately get another movie for free. It was the ultimate hybrid model, combining the convenience of online with the instant gratification of a physical store. For the first time, Netflix was on the back foot. The comeback was real. Blockbuster Online was a massive success, siphoning subscribers directly from Netflix. Wall Street panicked. Netflix's stock price plummeted by 50%. In his own words, Reed Hastings admitted he was terrified. It seemed the giant had finally awakened and was ready to crush the upstart. But to win this war, Antioco knew he had to make an agonizing sacrifice. He had to kill Blockbuster's golden goose, its most reliable, most hated, and most profitable source of revenue: late fees. For years, late fees were the bedrock of Blockbuster's business model. They were pure profit. But they were also the #1 reason customers hated Blockbuster and fled to Netflix, which famously advertised no late fees. To compete, to win back the hearts and minds of customers, the late fees had to go. Antioco made the call. He abolished late fees nationwide. The cost was staggering. An estimated $400 million in annual revenue vanished from the balance sheet overnight. It was a bold, painful, but necessary move for long-term survival. He was betting the entire company on the future. But then, a new player entered the game. Not a competitor, but a predator. His name was Carl Icahn, a legendary activist investor, a man Wall Street called a corporate raider. Icahn saw a wounded company with a depressed stock price and smelled blood. He began buying up huge chunks of Blockbuster stock, quickly becoming one of its largest and most powerful shareholders. Carl Icahn was not a movie lover. He didn't care about streaming, or online services, or the future of home entertainment. He cared about one thing, and one thing only: short-term profit. He wanted to see the stock price go up, fast, so he could cash out. He looked at John Antioco's strategy, and saw a man burning cash. The inevitable showdown came. Icahn, now on the board of directors, scrutinized the company's financials. He saw the gaping $400 million hole where the late fees used to be. He saw the massive spending on the Blockbuster Online division. He was furious. In his eyes, Antioco wasn't a visionary. He was a reckless spendthrift, destroying shareholder value. Icahn's demands were simple and brutal. Bring back the late fees. Stop wasting hundreds of millions on this online experiment and focus on our profitable stores. It was a battle for the soul of the company. On one side, John Antioco, the man fighting for Blockbuster's future. On the other, Carl Icahn, the man demanding immediate profit. Tragically, in a corporate power struggle, the man with the most shares often wins. In 2005, through a bitter boardroom war, Carl Icahn succeeded in ousting John Antioco. The one man who understood the threat and had a viable plan to save the company was fired. What happened next was a corporate self-immolation. The new CEO, a man loyal to Icahn, immediately began reversing Antioco's strategy. He was ordered to stop the bleeding. The hated late fees were brought back. The budget for Blockbuster Online was slashed to the bone. The company's only lifeboat was deliberately sunk. This was the moment Blockbuster truly signed its own death warrant. They chose the comfort of today's profits over the necessity of tomorrow's survival. They treated the cancer with a beignet. While Blockbuster was consumed by this internal civil war, the world outside kept moving. In 2007, Netflix, having survived its near-death experience, made its next move. It launched a service called Watch Now. It was the beginning of streaming. The future had arrived. And Blockbuster, busy counting the cash from its reinstated late fees and dismantling its online division, didn't even notice. They were fighting yesterday's war while their rival was building tomorrow's empire. The end was swift and brutal. By 2010, it was all over. Drowned in debt and abandoned by customers, Blockbuster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The familiar blue and yellow signs began to disappear from cities and towns across the world. The story of Blockbuster is a classic, tragic case of what business experts call the innovator's dilemma. It's a paradox where the very things that make a company successful, its profitable products, its established business model, its focus on its best customers, can also be the things that prevent it from adapting to fundamental changes in the market. Successful companies are afraid to disrupt their own profitable business because it means taking a short-term hit to revenue. They are afraid to hurt their cash cow. We've seen this story before. It's the story of Kodak, who invented the digital camera but clung to its profitable film business until it was too late. It's the story of Nokia, which dominated the mobile phone market but dismissed the touchscreen iPhone as a niche gimmick, unwilling to abandon its profitable keyboard phones. They were all giants, seemingly invincible, and they all made the same fatal mistake. They were so focused on optimizing their current success that they failed to see the tidal wave of change until they were already underwater. There's a ruthless lesson in all of this. A quote, often attributed to former Intel CEO Andy Grove: "If you don't cannibalize yourself, someone else will." John Antioco understood this. He was willing to sacrifice the $400 million from late feast to cannibalize a part of his own business in order to build a stronger one for the future. Carl Icahn and the board did not. In the end, Netflix didn't kill Blockbuster. Arrogance and a lack of vision wounded it, but what delivered the final, fatal blow was internal greed and a catastrophic civil war. Blockbuster had the brand, the resources, and even the right strategy to win, but it chose to tear itself apart from the inside, a failure not of circumstance, but of courage. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis interesting, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world.